Hi, Shakti here. Welcome to my channel. I am in this deep, profound state of stillness, joy. I can truly call it as a joy. Yeah, I want to share that exact moment with you. I have had glimpses of this over the period of past 25 years or so. But to be more precise, this is getting rooted, or actually, I'm rooted in this, the so called stillness for the past 2 years. And to give a verbal description, language fails to describe what what's happening in you. Um, just to put it in a linguistic language terminology, I could say I was going in and out. And for the past 2 years, it's it has been stronger and stronger. And I could say I am living from this space, um, maybe for a while. Um, Especially this morning when I woke up, I had this surging feeling of joy and happiness, and that's what um, I want to share that energy with you. Um, Happiness for no reason, joy for again no reason. There is nothing happening in my life. I'm still externally from the worldly point of view. Nothing has changed. Um, yeah, I was um, contemplating, thinking, pondering about the description, the language I could use to describe. I was also caught up in the self-help, self-development race, if you want to call it. And I was carried away by several so-called techniques and tools. Um, but what I want to say to you today is the distinction between um, what the Western world talks about transformation and what Eastern, particularly I know about only India because I was born in India. Um, uh, but I can connect with the Tao and the Tao Te Ching, some of the Chinese teachings as well. What in India, in the Eastern world, we talk of transcendence. Um, I would like to describe as a two-tier process. There could be many, but I just want to break it down into two broad categories of the phenomena. The one is the transformation, what the Western world talks about, the entire billions of dollars worth self-help industry is promoting, is transformation. People can relate to um, the experiences of dark night of the soul, um, um, Carl Jung's concept of shadow, integrating the shadow, becoming whole from the psyche point of view. We hear stories after stories of people who are in the corporate world, become totally dissatisfied, and then they change their profession. They become a florist, or they become gardener, or they become a social worker. We hear hundreds of stories uh, in the self-help domain. Yes, that is transformation. You live your life according to your script given to you by your parents, or by the society, by the family, or the religion, or combination of all these things. You follow the script. You try to conform, and try to live, adjust, and mold your life according to the structure that's given to you. And that becomes painful at some stage. And you try to change the furniture, inside that particular frame, reference frame. Try to change the order, change the job, or some people's life involves changing different relationships, but nothing gives you the satisfaction. And then people go through the dark night of the soul kind of an experience, and they find something that's truer to themselves. So they leave the job, they leave the relationship, they leave whatever structure they were living in, and they create their own structure, if you want to call it, becoming a florist, or becoming real estate agent. I don't know. I'm just saying, totally uh, working in a different domain. That is transformation. You realize the facade, you realize the mask you were given when you were young, and you want to live an authentic life at the psyche level, at the ego level. You find some authenticity at one aspect of your life, or few aspects of your life. The psyche is still the same, the structure is still the same, and and values become sorry, but the values become different. You get a different orientation, and you start building another structure from this realized authentic self. One transformation itself is, uh, huge for anyone to experience in one lifetime. So one lifetime can hold or can support one or two transformations, if you want to even consider this kind of a profound shift in somebody's life. And during that process, yes, you have a lot of tools and techniques, what the self-help industry promotes. Lot of meditations, lot of chakra cleaning. That's a joke from Eastern point of view. And lots of retreats, self-help support groups, and so on and so on, so forth. There is another level, second tier. In terms of the external manifestation, in terms of the behavior or the attitude or the functioning of that person in the outer world, probably it's very difficult to tell a difference. The second tier is something like um, something like the total transcendence of the self, the egoic self, the psyche. You transcend totally. um, meaning that the egoic self, the persona, the egoic self, um, I could say, disappears. Um, and you are in void, if you want to use that word, in nothingness. And depending on your what we call in India as a prarabdha karma, what you are meant to do in this lifetime, in this incarnation, that will get done through the body. In this one, in the transcendence phase, it's not the dark night of the soul. It's the total disintegration of the entirety of who you are, what you have been thinking about, your values, attitudes, belief system, knowledge, opinions, and ideas. Even what you think who you are. You are not the person is who has a name, a form, and different roles. Everything disappears. And the momentum that life carried you through slowly comes to zero. That means it could mean the loss of everything. In the transformation phase in the tier one, maybe you could lose a job, lose your job, or you could lose few friendship or relationship. But you regather coming out of the dark night of the soul experience, you regather, regroup. But the foundation remained the same. But here, there is no foundation. The foundation also collapses. And the void initially is terrifying because you don't know who you are to begin with, and you do not know where you are, what's meant to happen, and you are alive. Your body tells you you are alive because the stomach gets hungry, the bladder gets filled up, and you need the bowel movement. So the biology, the body does its job. But besides that, there is no um, sense or meaning or purpose or existence in this existence. In my experience, this period lasted for about 8 years. I mean, life does support each and every one. And externally, everything was forcefully ripped away from me, my relationships, job, money, family, all those things. And I did not even have one single support system in terms of, even, people say, oh, listen to music. That's a good stress reliever. Technically speaking, musically speaking, you could call me as a tone deaf person. My ears don't differentiate a fine music and a noise. Everything looks like sound to me. So I had no internal or external anchor to hold on to. And to the extent that some time ago, much earlier, I lost faith in the religion and gods. I said I'm not even going to worship any god because gods are man-made concepts. They don't make any sense to me. That kind of a rejection of everything. So you are nowhere. The void was terrifying for at least few years, but because that's how I suppose the journey was, the body survived. Nothing happened to the body. I did not even lose a milligram of my weight. I mean, I shouldn't say that I did lose few kilograms of my weight, but nothing stopped the function. The sun rises and the sun sets, day comes and goes, weeks roll by, and you just survive. And then at some stage, maybe 2 years ago, the void started to become a pleasant place. It wasn't painful or terrifying or agonizingly painful anymore. It is void, it is what it is, that kind of acceptance, the pain disappears. My whole body used to hurt. Now I understand psychologically all the trauma stored in the body needed to be released. So the release happened, and that release caused the whole entire body pain, head to toe. That too for several years. But again, by the so-called divine grace, I wasn't directed to seek medical attention. I did go to some therapist and specialist, neurologist, and all for my headache and stuff. The MRI scan showed no problem, no issue. So the doctors couldn't say what was happening to me and then say, oh, let's keep you on observation. Let's see how it goes. And days to weeks to months pass by. Here I am. No more body ache, no more headache, no more pain. Um, and I should say recently, this joy. I really want to use the word joy. Last year, when my teacher said, why aren't you in joy? Then I said, what do you mean? I'm in so much pain. How can I say the pain is joy? That was the internal resistance when I heard the word joy. But today, I'm using the word joy. It's so profound, so deep. Um, so, if anyone who is listening to this transmission um, experiences any of something that you don't understand, you want more clarification, trust that you are guided. You are where you are. We are always where we are, where we are meant to be. There is no mistake in the universe. And the universe is immeasurably, unimaginably intelligent. Imagine all the planets are revolving the sun with the utmost precision. The earth rotates around itself with the precision. All the galaxies and the cosmos, everything is operating at exact precision. So we, as a human being, are tiny speck in the entire cosmos. We are just a speck, a nano size speck or a zepto size speck. I don't even know. Or maybe sizeless speck, immeasurable, tiny, infinitesimally small speck. We don't have to we don't have to doubt. We are supported. And there is always clarity. For me, it took 8 years in this deep isolation and the seclusion and in that um, uh, when I was Googling, I found the word walking through fire. That felt accurate, you walk through fire. But we are held, supported in every step of our way. Everything is happening with the most accurate precision. Rest assured, nothing is random, nothing is out of tune. Everything happens for a reason. Maybe you are in the middle of this process, and like me, you might get irritated when I use certain words, just like I was irritated when my teacher used the word joy. But let it irritate you. That's all right. But don't lose your hope. I mean, the hope is also given to us by the universe. We are supported. I want to share more of my journey and offer guidance and support to anyone who walks this path. My contact details are given in the description box. I'm also a trained, qualified counselor and a coach. So I provide counseling service on a different platform. All the links are given in the description box. Stay blessed. Welcome to the baseline. Bless you. Thank you.